Well, it's February 27th, 2019, and we're just a couple days away from entering one of my favorite times of the year. Um, County and district and then state convention season here in the North Carolina Republican Party. Um, the convention season actually kicks off Friday night down in Robeson County at the Lions Club in Lumberton. This particular convention on Friday night I will not be able to attend, sadly. There's a couple reasons why. One is work. I've had to go to as many conventions as I'm going to be going to over the next month. I've had to take off a lot of days from work, and I've had to take off a lot of Saturdays in particular from work. And what has happened is my boss, who's a good guy, very fair guy too, has gotten to the point where he has had to decline some of my requests for days off in March to go to conventions. And one of the days that he rejected was March 1st, Friday. Now, I could still go to the Robeson County Convention, but I would have to take a point. And what that means is we have attendance points where I work. And once you get to, if you miss 5 days in a 6-month period, you're gone pretty much. And I've already had to take 1 point for last couple weekends ago because I had to go to Raleigh, go to state GOP meeting. This is very important, by the way, because hadn't had a meeting since like June. But this was, so I have to evaluate that. And then we might have some winter weather move in next week here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I have to evaluate that too. And I have to look at, I'm already going to take a point on March 16th for a convention. So I have a lot of balls I have to juggle here. I'd love to take the entire month of March off, but that's just not possible. But I'm going to 15 conventions this year that are on my docket. And let's see. Oh, another reason why I won't be attending is, Robeson County, they've decided to have, now every county is going to have some sort of a guest speaker. But Robeson County is going to have a national speaker, and his name is Reverend C.L. Bryant, and he's a great, phenomenal speaker. I've heard him speak before. He is one of my all-time favorites. However, the way that Robeson County has organized this convention is they want to start the convention at 5 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and to do the business session, okay? They want to have the business session for only an hour, from 5 to 6, and then at 6 they want to have C.L. Bryant be the speaker. So, in my opinion, Robeson County has done one of those things, in my opinion, you should never do when playing a convention, which is you make the guest speaker bigger than the actual business at hand, which is having a county convention. Okay, so that's another reason why. But again, that is on Friday at 5 p.m., which is kind of a weird time, but still, if you want to go, the information is on the NCGOP website as well. Okay, let me go ahead and tell you, I was analyzing some data a lot today, comparing 2018's convention schedule to 2019's convention schedule. And what I found some interesting things. 54 counties have kept the same date and same time from last year, which I think is a pretty good thing. It helps the party run a little bit more efficiently, helps people won't know what to expect. There are, unfortunately, as of this taping, I believe I counted about 14 counties that have not given any information as to what their county convention when it is and where it is, and the 411 on their conventions. And these counties are the weakest link. Goodbye. No, they are as follows: Allegheny, Avery, Bertie, scrolling down here, Dublin, Graham, Hoke, Martin. By the way, the only county last year that ended up not having a convention is Martin County, so I don't expect them, probably not going to have a convention again this year, but we'll see. Okay, also have Montgomery. It's a little rural county in the southern part of North Carolina, not the big congested suburban county just north of Washington, D.C., okay? And then we have Perquimans, Stanley County. My best friend from high school is named Stanley, too, so that's pretty cool. Tyrell County, Warren County, Washington County, and then Wayne County. Okay, so if any of you watching this video live in any of those 14 counties and you know when your county convention is, please let me know or call 1-800-876-5353. That's the Unsolved Mysteries tip line, by the way. Okay, so looking now at my convention schedule, I should say. Let me go ahead and run that through with you, and I'm going to kind of discuss each convention briefly and that sort of thing too. Okay, so this Saturday, March 2nd, we have Forsyth County, and that convention is going to get underway. It officially starts at 10:30, but they're going to have an executive committee meeting at 9:45, so those are always really good to attend. So yeah, definitely get there before 9:45. I think they start the precinct meetings and the registration. That's where, if you live in Forsyth County, yeah, you're gonna have to get there at 9 probably. But those of us guessed 9:45 at the Main Street Academy. That is right off of I-40, the main line I-40, not the business 40. Thank the good Lord, don't have to drive on that road right now. Main Street Academy there in the southern part of Winston-Salem. Okay, on March 7th, I'm headed over to Johnston County. This is weather permitting, okay, because there might be it's supposed to get really chilly next week. It might have some snow moving in, might have some black ice concerns, but that will be on Thursday night, March 7th at the courthouse in Smithfield, there in Johnston County. There is a $2 fee to get in. That's just for registration paperwork and defraying the cost of renting the building. Forsyth County is asking $10, and I'll make sure when I'm discussing these conventions to let you all know what the fees are going to be. But here's a little tip about convention attendance etiquette, especially if you're a guest. Try to have some cash on hand with you. It doesn't have to be anything big, just $5, $10, or $20. That way, if they ask you, there's a fee to attend, everybody has to pitch in to help pay the building venue, then please do that. Now, I 5 years ago attended a convention in Cumberland County and did not know this beforehand. And apparently they asked for $5 and I didn't have any cash on hand. They were very gracious about it, and they said, okay, well, you can go ahead anyway, but just, a point of personal privilege, let me tell you that please try to have a few bucks on hand as a donation if the county asks for it, okay? If they don't ask for it and you still want to give a donation, hey, that's fine too, okay? Just a little word of etiquette. Okay. Saturday, March 9th, I'll be right here in Guilford County, of course. That convention starts at, I believe, 9 a.m. I'm gonna go into a political function tonight, and the chairperson that's heading that up, I have to ask him, really, 9 a.m. because the precinct meetings start at 9 a.m. believing it starts till 10, so if I can sleep in a little bit, I want to sleep in. But the cost to attend that is, if you are going to be a delegate and you live in Guilford County as a registered Republican, it is $20. However, As a guest, you just pay $5 if you live outside of Guilford County. Okay, later that day, I'm going to be heading over to Franklin County in Lewisburg, which is just a little bit north and east of Raleigh. That convention gets started at 7:45 p.m. I believe all the precinct meetings and that sort of thing starts at 7. But that is going to be at the Hamilton Hobgood Courthouse Annex in Lewisburg. March 11th. This is going to be the longest drive of the whole month. I'm headed way down east to Lenoir County, North Carolina, to Kingston. That convention gets underway at 7 p.m., but it's being held at from what I've heard, is a very good barbecue place called King's Barbecue. And I hope King's Barbecue doesn't let me down. Hopefully they'll help me get over the sting of not having Bill Ellis Barbecue around anymore. Oh my gosh, what a loss. Ugh. By the way, I'm gonna have a whole tribute video about that up probably within the next couple weeks or so too. That'll actually be on my sister channel, Gregarious Drivers of Greensboro, not this channel, just FYI. Okay, March 11th, Monday, Lenoir County Convention starts at 7 p.m. If you want to eat and you need to eat, okay, it's good food, barbecue. 6 p.m., King's Barbecue in Kingston. And that is a 2-hour and 40-minute drive one way. So I need to make sure I have all my podcast and music queued up good for that drive. Okay, the next day I'm headed on out to Alexander County in Taylorsville. That convention gets underway at 7 p.m. That drive is half, thankfully, of what driving to Kingston. It's only going to be an hour, 20-minute drive each way out there. March 14th, Granville County Convention. That's on a Thursday night at the courthouse there in Granville County. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Okay, and then we have March 16th, Mecklenburg County. Starts at 10 a.m. Okay, and I can work with 10 a.m. even if it is an hour and a half drive to Charlotte. But this convention is one that I'm gonna have to take an attendance point from work to go to, because this. If you're going to go to one convention, besides, if you live in Mecklenburg, obviously go to this one, okay? But if you live like in Brunswick County or something, or another county, and you want to go to another convention, go to Mecklenburg, okay? Because this one is going to have it's been all over the local, the Facebook and all the inter-party pages about how this is going to be a very, very bitterly contested race for party chairman. And another wrinkle that I just found out today from our friends at the Daily Haymaker is that the current chairman of the Mecklenburg County Republican Party had just apparently there was somebody who's made a donation to the party, okay, and donated a building that Mecklenburg County wants to have as its party headquarters, but also they're hosting this convention at that particular building at 4020 Yancey Road in Charlotte. Now, why is this significant? Well, number one, in my opinion, it's not necessarily a good idea to have your county convention in the same building your headquarters, just because for capacity reasons. Because at a county convention you might have 200 people show up, okay, but at a regular monthly meeting you might have a quarter of that show up, and most of the time the headquarters is just built to hold 50 people, not 200, right? Another thing is sounds a little bit like a bribery issue that we have here, because what could happen is you could have the current chairman get reelected, okay, and if the current chairman gets reelected, this headquarters on Yancey Road is going to stay in the party's hands. However, if the challenger candidate is going to win, then this headquarters will not, this property on Yancey Road will not go forward as property of the Mecklenburg County GOP. So we have here sort of a conflict of interest. Maybe this is sort of a way to buy people's vote instead of listening to what each candidate has to say. We have this headquarters now you put in. It just seems very, very messy to me. Ugh. But by the way, should mention about Guilford County, that is going to be a 3-candidate race. The race in Mecklenburg County is only going to be a 2-candidate race. And I'm just going to say a couple words about the candidates here in Guilford. The front runner seems to be David Gleason, who has been a party outsider most of his life, but has a lot of experience in sales and business and that sort of thing. He's a very intelligent guy too. Has an MBA and a degree in chemical engineering. And then another person is Clark Porter. Now, Clark Porter has lived in Guilford County his entire life. He's a longtime activist. He's worked a couple of candidates of note that he's worked for campaigns on is the former sheriff B.J. Barnes and the great late Senator Jesse Helms. But what you need to know about Clark Porter that may detract some votes is that he is endorsing Robin Hayes for a 3rd term as GOP chairman. And then the 3rd candidate is a good friend of mine. That's not an official endorsement by the way, okay? I'm just saying he is. He ran the party back in the 2000s and had a lot of great success. And he's been involved as a Republican since the 90s, and his name is Marcus Kinley. And I just want to say that Marcus has had a lot on his plate right now. He's had some health issues, had a surgery over the last weekend, and today just his mother passed away. So please keep Marcus and his family in your prayers, please. We just want to say, as of right now, he is still run as a candidate. But I mean, if losing a loved one that you're close to your entire life, like your mother, I mean, we not certainly. There's a strong possibility that it might just be a 2-person race. As of right now, it might be 3-person race, but depending on what how our buddy Marcus is doing, it may just be 2. So keep that in mind if you live in Guilford County. March 18th, another big one. Wake County. This starts at 7 p.m. at the McKimmon Center on the campus of NC State University. This is going to be an open race. Charles Hellwig is stepping down as chair after serving 1 term. Wake County, Charles, I've never met the guy, but I heard he's a very hard worker, and despite the losses, did a good job. But there were losses, and I think that Mr. Hellwig made the best decision, and I think it was a very gentleman, classy decision to not seek a 2nd term. So this will be an open seat. There are 2 candidates running. This does not appear to be as bitter as Mecklenburg County, but I would expect this still. Wake County, the 2nd largest county in the state, this is still going to probably be some little bit of fireworks at this. And I want to say thank you to Wake County for having your convention on a Monday night this year, instead of trying to be like majority of the counties. They always got to put their convention on Saturday morning at like 10 a.m. But Wake County decided to think outside the box and say Monday at 7. We're going for that. Great. Okay. And then March 19th, Davie County. That's at 7 p.m. Rockingham. Well, no, okay. Then we come to. Okay, March 23rd. This is going to be an interesting day. As of this afternoon, I was planning on going to Rockingham County's convention. Starts at 10 a.m. It's only like 30 minutes north of here. However, Person County, which is about an hour, a little over an hour north and east of here in Roxborough, is starting their convention at 9 a.m. Now, why is the hour difference significant? Well, I'm trying to hit as many conventions as I possibly can here, folks. And Moore County, which is one of the reddest counties in the state of North Carolina, by the way, Moore County is having their convention start at 2 p.m. down in Pinehurst. So, Rockingham County goes from about 10 to 1, okay, and it would take me at least an hour to get down to Pinehurst, maybe about an hour 15. Okay, Person County is set to end their convention at noon, okay, an hour earlier. Now, the drive time is about an hour and it's about 2 hours from Person County to Moore County, maybe a little bit less, but still, at this point, I'm probably going to go to Person County instead of Rockingham County, but that could change, though, so we'll see. Tune to this channel for late-breaking developments, folks. Okay, March 25th, I'm going to be down in Bladen County at 7 p.m. And if you probably heard the name Bladen County before, it's over the last few months has been all over the news with this whole 9th congressional district race. That's going to be at the Agricultural Center in Elizabethtown. And that's on a Monday. I took off Tuesday as well, so I might be down in Myrtle Beach for a couple days for a little R&R and some mini golf and an overpriced seafood buffet. We'll see. Might get a couple buddies of mine from Wilmington to go down there to Myrtle Beach with me. We'll see. Okay, March 28th, Alamance County is where I'll be at the courthouse. That starts at 6 p.m. in Graham, the little town of Graham, which is just a little south of the big tuna of Alamance, which is Burlington. And then finally, March 30th, I have to say, point of personal privilege, that's my 33rd birthday. And there's a convention on that day, which makes the day double sweet, in my opinion. I will be about 30 minutes down the road in Randolph County for that convention. That starts at 11:30 a.m. Okay, so those are all, that's the list. That's 15 conventions right there. As of right now, maybe there might be a couple more. Of course, we have the double header on March 9th, have a double header on March 23rd. Maybe there'll be another, double header on coming up here, a couple other Saturdays too. Let me see here. What else did I want to talk about? I know. Oh yeah. I looked at the numbers. Okay, and this is. I spent a couple hours this afternoon just looking at the dates of conventions from this year and then last year and compared them. And this is good, especially if you want to be like me and try to go to as many conventions as you possibly can in the month of March. But you also have to work a little bit too. You can't take the entire month of March off. You still got to work a little bit. So, this year there are 52 conventions on a Saturday. That is actually down, believe it or not, from 62 conventions, which was on Saturdays last year. You'll notice too, let's see, looking at the numbers here, 10 conventions are going to happen this Saturday. The Saturday, the 9th, is going to be 21 conventions. That is way too many for one day. Need to spread it out a little bit more. And then 9, the 16th, the 23rd will have 8 conventions, and March 30th we'll only have 4 conventions. So they definitely need to evenly distribute these conventions a little more. Of course, the problem is that the counties, the state party lets the counties do whatever they want. Most of the time, I don't have a problem with that, but I mentioned this in a prior video too, but I think there could be a fun way to actually have a fundraiser for the state party and make a kind of a, like a fantasy football draft, but have it for actually, having counties actually, pick, like, okay, let's have an example. Let's say my county, Guilford County, okay, we have this big draft. It could happen like the first or second Saturday in January or something in Raleigh. Okay, we'll have this draft, and we'll charge maybe $10 or $20. We'll have a nice. It'd be like maybe even have it right before the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday, we'll have a nice little party, Super Bowl party. But before that, we'll have the draft. So we'll have wings and pizza and all your Super Bowl snacks. Charge like $10 or $20 a head, right? Okay, but we'll have a draft before the Super Bowl, and each county will be randomly chosen. And who knows, my county might be number 1. They'll say, Guilford County, pick the date and time when I have a convention. Like, okay, we're going to do this then. Okay. Then there might be some preliminary legwork that might need to happen as far as knowing what's available on what days, but still, I think it might be a fun event. And then once, like, Saturday morning, you could have no more than 5 counties have a convention Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, you could have maybe 5. Encourage counties to think outside the box when it comes to their convention time. I want to thank Franklin County and Moore County for doing that. Franklin's going to have theirs on a Saturday evening. Moore County's going to have theirs on Saturday afternoon. And I know there's probably some other counties out west part of the state that also do that too. And I like Swain County, Transylvania County. So thank you for thinking outside the box on that. So if you're looking at days to take off from work, Saturday is always going to be the best bet. Every Saturday in March, even last year Easter was in March, and there were still counties that had their convention the day before Easter. So I hope that does not happen with the district conventions in April, because this year Easter is like the very late in April this year, and I just hope that districts don't try to have their convention the day before Easter on Easter weekend, because that Saturday is what I call a double point day. If I were to miss that day, I'd get 2 attendance points, and remember, I can only miss 4 more in a 6-month period to avoid losing my job. That would not be good. So I said Saturday. Yeah, Saturday is always good for conventions. Thursdays come up a lot. Yeah, Thursdays are next common day. This year, 3 out of the 4 Mondays in the month were also used for convention dates. And, Saturday could be during the day, could be evening. Weekdays are almost always during the evening, you should know. And last year, the conventions were a little bit more spread out as far as days and times. There was actually, I believe it was about 2 parties actually had their convention on Wednesday nights, and 4 actually had their convention on Friday nights. This year, there are no conventions on Wednesday nights, and there's only 2 parties that are meeting on Friday night. And Sunday night, both Last year and this year, no parties are meeting. And I would just say that I've said this before in another video, but it bears repeating. Okay, Sunday, you can't have a political event on Sunday morning. I get it. Okay, church and everything of that caliber happens Sunday morning. It's probably also not the best idea to have it on Wednesday night either. Yeah, because a lot of people go to church or midweek Bible study. I understand that too. However, a lot of state party activities, especially on the central committee level, a lot of the conference calls and those meetings, they actually happen on Sunday afternoons. So why not have the same mentality to maybe have a county convention on Sunday afternoon? Let's start registration at 1, and then maybe do some sort of a registration precinct meeting start at maybe 1 or 2, and then have an hour for like a luncheon or something. Fried chicken, barbecue pork, barbecue ribs, that sort of thing. And then start the convention about 3, and then end the convention by about 6, okay? And by the time people clean up and everything, you'll be home watching God Friended Me at 8 p.m. in your PJs, So there you go, right? Anyway, I just want to say I'm so looking forward to actually go and be able to attend county conventions this year, because the last 2 years has just been a lot of me gathering information when the convention is, and sort of plotting my own what if I actually lived in North Carolina, could attend, how many conventions I go to, and everything like that. And also, these conventions, another thing I like about them too, besides obviously their political nature, I just like to go out for drives and see this beautiful state, and go see new places, eat some really darn good southern food, some great Carolina barbecue, and just so these conventions, it combines both the politics and also my love of just traveling and roads and highways. So and that's kind of what I really see, like YouTube. When I look at my YouTube channels, I mean, that's really like, I have 2 channels, right? And both channels, they cover something in my life that I'm passionate about. Like this channel, The Conservative Pelican, 95% of the stuff on here is about politics and what I'm passionate about in the political arena. About 5 to 10% of it is more about life reflections, and pop culture and some other things. Okay. On my other channel, Gregarious Drivers of Greensboro, North Carolina, and you'll be seeing a lot more content on that channel, because I just got some video editing software, and I'm really trying to get some more content over there. But that is it features basically a lot of driving, driving around, looking at highways and road construction, some scenic hills and mountains, and also some of the knuckleheads on the road, some of the bad drivers, the ones that don't have blinker fluid, and have half their brain out of their head when they drive, right? So anyway, so excited about this. It's going to be great. It's going to be a really fun next couple of months, and of course I will have a video of all 15 counties conventions, and they're I won't be recording, well, I'll be taking notes and talking about them later on this channel is what I'll be doing. But anyway, as for right now, I am the Conservative Pelican, and I want to say thank you for spending the last 34 minutes with me watching this video. Good night.